Well, I think we'll get started. Welcome, everyone. I'm so delighted that you've come to one of the first readings of my debut poetry book, The Edge of Everything, which is being published by Finishing Line Press in late January. It is available for pre-order. You can use the form that I gave out this morning. I guess it's this afternoon. Anyway, this is a culmination of a lifelong dream. I have always wanted to be a published poet, and now I'm about to be. And I just want to thank all the many, many people who have helped make this day possible. Some of you are here, many others are not. So anyway, here it is, The Edge of Everything. And it is dedicated to Elaine McGray Starrett, my mother, also an artist and my lifelong inspiration. And to Julianne Shaw, my beloved, bringer of light, laughter, and love.
To mute your device. Mute.
You, what?
People should, if you haven't muted your device,
Oh.
now would be a good time.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Not you.
Thank you. This book follows a general arc of my life, different periods of my life. It has a section on growing, exploring, flowing, being, and transforming. And I'm actually going to move those. Can you move those flowers just back a little bit? I feel like they're in my line of sight. Perfect. Thank you. So I'm just going to read a few from each section. The first poem, the title poem, is No Surprise, The Edge of Everything. I have learned in my 70th year, my center is actually at the edge of everything. No wonder I can't keep my balance. I see the world from the edge, where I could so easily fall. At the edge of everything, I, small beneath an infinite sky, keep searching for what is most deeply true. Maine nights. The beds upstairs line up like sentries, all the bedspreads smooth just so. Trunks of musty linens behind where mice make their nests for the little ones once the humans vacate. Even tired quilts are more than enough to ward off summer night chill as the dread 9 o'clock horn rises from the deep dark. Every night I snooze in shadowy kerosene lamplight, squatting on the stairwell shelf. Through knotholes in the floor, I glimpse the grown-ups downstairs, their voices soft and falling, heavy with coming sleep. All the windows open to the black expanse outside the screens. When I grew older, the night grew closer. Cicadas serenaded me as I read for hours on the worn couch downstairs, bathed in stillness, never wanting the mystical firelight to go out. And this is about my ancestors. Ancestral journeys. My father's people never knew comfort or care. They carved towns out of logs and fallen brush, bore child after winter after spring, forgotten names of places, Nova Scotia homesteads. Great-grandmother planted carrots, tomatoes, and squash for squalling babies and dirty-faced children. My mother's people came from fishermen pulling oars through gales, steering home through storms, rocked by earthquake waves. Grandmother's skirt billowed like clouds as she took my mother from their hand-hewn cottage in Kittery's Sea Point by train. My grandfather left his fishing village, turned to mending people, a doctor who sternly disciplined his children with moral lessons. Rules ingrained from hard-scrabble years on the land's rough, untamed edge. Hard work, truthfulness, and charity towards others. The children are gone now, lost to life's inevitable ends. Only rotting shards of the railbed remain, fading signs of that seaside pilgrimage. And this one is about my sister. Sisters leaning, one on tiptoe with long, lacy branches, slumping into the other's arms of August fullness, with roots half pulled from the ground, worn from the effort of quaking under wind and rain. Two aspen trees fixed in common soil, plain, fallow, full of stones, disintegrating plants, one catching the other's broken wings. They pierce the lonely sky with a plea, a prayer for just one more season to stand by the creek together until, in time, they fall as one. And this one I dedicate to my daughter Priscilla, who has come with her husband Sammy to be with me on this important day. It's called Lake Carmi with my daughter. Sitting behind you in a low-slung kayak, I marvel at swinging black braids sliding down your back, shiny in the equinox sun. Each stroke of dark water reminds me of the nights you swore you would never go back to fair weather lovers, whose loyalty proved as shallow as the lily pads. Now, at the turning of our seasons together, as our lives entwine once again, anchored in aging love, we turn as one for the deep waters of Lake Carmi. And this is elegy for my mother. You are rowing toward the light, against the tides, tethered to the sea. Stroke, stroke. Come on, Mom, you can do it, we cry as we steady your boat. But our voices dissolve, facing an icy sea. Our hands slowly, slowly release their grasp on your gunnels. You disappear behind the swells, but then appear again, your face set and determined to reach that farthest coast. All your storms vanquished at last, you pull at the oars, refusing to stop until triumphant and true, you come to rest on that silvery shore. And this references the period right after my mother passed away. Ready to live. She is a woman who came from downstairs going up into her daughter's room, surveying the unmade bed, stains on the rug, leftovers from abandoned lovers, a lonely sock sticking out of the closet as if to claim the stale, smoke-strangled air. She is a woman leaving behind all that she was, discovering anew as a child, pure wonder of rocks, trees, leaves, streams. It was all here before she was, but truly, was she here all along? She is a woman remaking her own mysteries, unrolling a new skein of she magic. Every day she opens her heart's door. Once she thought the key forever lost. Now she collects more than her hands can hold. She is a woman who watched her mother's light go out one winter morning. After, she let herself out the back door, entered a brand new world, ready at last to live. This one's called Wilderness Journey. Begin as I step onto paths only imagined before or seen in Vermont travel books. Each turn awaits its reveal, whether farmland expanse or narrow roads zigzagging through mountains. See, this rugged land, once strange, now familiar, the rocks and fallen oak trees, half-hide yellow sweetgrass, other wildflowers, names unknown, pop with color through landscapes I am mapping. Listen to wild high love keening from the river's edge, maybe loons, maybe crows, or perhaps a woman weeping. I have never ventured this far, fearing lament without end. Feel my lover slip her hand into mine, gray hair cascades peace, spills into every last pore, creates safety in the hilly wilderness. Arrive home, following well-trod paths, a fire warm in my heart and chilly on the stove, pull a warm shawl around our lives, time to rest, sleep. Dream of tomorrow's paths, inviting their outlines engraved on our bones. Undisturbed, waiting for our footfalls, still exploring this place as only wild things do. This I wrote as I rode through Rochester Gap here in Vermont. Spring light slides through the late afternoon, endless screens of trees, glimpses of the pine needle carpet, now glowing with early spring sun slanting, slicing the sleeping soil. Vibrant hues, now lime, now seafoam, now fern, emerge from barren branches, brown and gray, stepping up the hillside to absorb stubborn snow patches. Rochester Gap rides the embrace of wild mountains. Trees join their long arms above low bundled buds burst to life. Waters race in unfettered streams with resounding ripples that remember ancient awakenings in lakes and ponds. Their ride continues to the sea where all life began, waving to the whales from the waterfall. Sinking into the sharp, shiny brine, the sandy shore greets every last drop returning home. And that's one I wrote one day, sitting by Lake Elmore. It's called Question for the Kayakers. Shimmering shards of light shake themselves awake, butterflies held captive by the sun. Two orange kayaks close together interrupt the rippling, radiant water, slide silent through swelling ripples. They strive to match their dipping paddles, to meet the rising currents and wind. Seen from the shore, they pull against prevailing breezes. Paddles rise and rise again. What will they learn when the wind dies away and they float alone in stillness. This is called Golden Falls. Leaves let go, twirl to earth. Fantastic parachutes carrying color from sky to sodden ground. Pine needles caress my neck like a lover. Spines of ancient serpentines rise out of the ground, crisscross the berm, witness another year's turning summer to winter, but not before laying a carpet of gold. No human eye will watch that falling from this bench. It is mine alone. Blue rises as gold falls, strip their hosts bare but for their essence. Standing silent sentry through the long winter, as forest scavengers seek food when their stores run thin. Meanwhile, Golden Falls continue, casting a spell upon blue water while leaves drop and drift languidly until claimed by the bog, disappearing underground to nest for a new generation, watery bed for new life springing as seasons turn, as seasons must. The geese have gone in their collective V's, leaving one lonely pair to fight the winter, finding solace in the crevice between tree trunks, haven enough for two. Coming home, I fall upward, an unforgettable waking dream, swallowed by streams, swallows, searing sunsets, by lakes, morning light, loons, by spirit in spilling colors, scarlet skies. Every twig speaks its own true name, marks the time of unfolding, unfurling, bursting from winter cocoon, exploding to wild shouts, splashing everywhere. Fledglings snuggle near their mothers, unafraid of tomorrow's solo flight. Rest now until sunlight rises, paints the horizon, points the way for all living things to rise and fly as one, splitting the night open, scattering millions of stars, images of essence, lasting legacies for generations to come. And here's the first of a number of ocean poems that are in this book. 3 from the sea. 1. Remains of sticky saltiness wake me with a jolt, though I am far away in a place slow to wake from winter, distant from any beach. Unforgettable images wash through me like comforting dreams, taking me to tender places, returning me again and again to where my life truly began. Gratitude fills my pores with sharp, salty bites of air blown about in early light as a perfect morning passes, slow-moving pendulum of light and shadow chase across beach expanses. My heart sings in this place when all else changes or fades away. 3. Beachcombing memories stick to my feet, though I departed the coast long ago. Odd seashells and sea glass shards cradled carefully in a plastic bag for the long trudge home. And another ocean one. Ocean at Salisbury Beach. Facing calm blue waters, I witness the sea comforted by its foaming unfurling onto the sand. Feel breezes across my bare arms. I drink in the light of an expanding sunrise. Seabirds flap their way to feed. Brightness appears beneath elongating red streaks across the sky. Life etches its ebbs and flows onto my heart's calendar, directs my feet where to stand in uncertain times, sets me free. Light for the world appears just as it did yesterday, just as it will do again tomorrow. Coffee with the whales. Scanning with outdated binoculars, I want to have coffee with the blues. Watch them leap, breach in the sparkling waves, run my hand along their flanks, scarred by fish lines. Breathe in their tales of icebergs in Canada, warmer winds on the Outer Banks, and other, more distant dreams, diving for more delectable treats. Growing in the blue-green brine, communing with porpoises, starfish, and sharks, soaking in the sea's goodness with the strong pull of the moon, unseen but undeniable. The whales roll over in morning's white blaze, and I am with them, losing sight of land. And this one turns to another topic. It's called Teachable Feet. In the beginning, these feet were desolate, toes curling under in mute embarrassment, jealous of the ballet dancer's long, strong soul, with high arches, walking in all the fanciest shoes, heels, dressy boots, loafers, gliding through life precisely balanced. These feet learned much, much later. They alone did not have to carry the body. See, they are planted without much effort on the flattest floor, heel to toe. Surprise, hips and ass can be conscripted to provide stability, sturdiness, enough to carry a body safely through space. For my beloved, we sit close in a great concert hall. 100 pulsing voices surround us. Your soul flies high, communes deeply with overtures and finales. You are here, eyes closed, wrapped in passionate bliss. I behold you as beautiful, as holy as I have ever seen you, and my heart will never be big enough to hold you. And this is another one from my beloved. Love poem. I am certain even when you go, you will be bound to me. I will never exist apart from you. Love has blasted past all the boundaries we assume separate us. Our bond will be bright blue like the sea, bright blue like your eyes, bright blue like all the memories we will gather like sea glass through our lives. Thick and tough, the cord will be our guarantee. What we created will endure behind life, death, imagination, and more. A promise never broken will tether my soul to yours forever. And this one is called, excuse me. This one is called On the Cusp. Smoke swirls and disappears into crackling cold air. Blue sky blinding with infinity's impossible purity. Disappearing behind trees, hills dancing, bedazzling the wind, whispering of warmer days to come. The muse sleeps, then startles awake to gales of passion, rage, sadness. Emotions billow up abruptly as sudden gusts of words scatter like late snowflakes. Serenity splits open and vaporizes in mid-sentence. Gravity relents and mountains tumble upward. Night plummets, obscuring every last flickering light. When the storm passes, she comes to the page at last, ready to tame the wild things, too big to capture, corral, or tame, too small to cup in her hand. Words emerge as mixed voices, chords on her inner piano, solos and sonnets in minor keys, clouds of words rising, sinking into her heart, bound together as one. It's time to reassemble shards of the fading season, recreate a vessel to launch anew the incomparable blooms of a returning spring. Living with your dying. Your body is slipping to a far place. I can't stop your slowing down, your awkward stumble. You keep going. Stubbornness streaks through every step, leaves you shaken, exhausted. The sky today, translucent, bright. I see nothing beyond white haze. You are slipping through a hole in the sky I cannot follow. No words for your regrets, believing you failed those close to you. Your moan slips through seamed lips. Hold on to the good, I whisper, but you only slip further away. I don't know how to live in this world without you. And this is called Fear of Falling, and it begins with an epigraph by one of my favorite poets, David White. I want to know if you know how to melt into that fierce heat of living, falling toward the center of your longing. Where is the center of my longing? Is it in Vermont's endless expanse of lakes and woods? Is it on a blank page waiting for words to give it life? Is it in the laughter of my beloved, making yet another raucous joke? Is it in 2 a.m. silence when I cannot sleep? I'm not yet dug deep enough into the soil of my soul, but Muse is calling me there, to the space where all passions dance. But how can I let myself fall when the ground is harsh, rough, rocky? Can I bear the pain of what it will take to rise from such a steep drop? I am not yet ready to fall toward the center of my longing, imagining I will only find emptiness, disappointment there, finally overcome by failing to shape poems after the most authentic version of me. Yet my truest self waits to be lit, become a bonfire of hopes and fears, challenges met and challenges failed, life full beyond any telling of it, wisdom found in dark and light places. I wait for that one moment to fall toward the center of my longing. learning my body language, and this one's for Jackie. For over half a lifetime, my body's language felt strange as I flailed against it. Only in water did my body begin to respond as I wanted. Then you came, student of bodies, attending each part, strong, weak, smooth, scarred. You knew the language of my body, even though it was only a murmur, nearly inaudible, distorted neurons lost in mazes with no exit. You taught me I could come home to my body, give it space, honor it, even revel in it, and to my surprise, learned from it. And this poem is about my stay in West Africa when I was in college, which was an event that transformed my life. It's called The Day I Walked Out into the Sky, My Sojourn in West Africa. I left home without a parachute. I didn't know I was going on this trip, leaving solid ground behind. I only had a passport, a change of clothes, with only a few words pronounced with strange sounds sticking in my throat. I didn't know I was leaving my old self at New York's bustling airport, only to find a new self there on a dusty, noisy, smelly airfield where we had to lug our bags across a steamy tarmac. Many black bodies pressed against mine, shouting, looking frantically for a rich foreigner's fare, finally finding the van that would take us away from the city, down dusty red roads, past thickets of palm trees, into a wildness I never imagined. There were buildings and houses and schedules on this remote college campus, but a 10-minute walk through flowering vegetation taller than I, parted just enough for a narrow track, sent me out into the bush, then returned me to the place I had started. I barely knew the place, though I basked in midnight massages and whispered secrets, even learning a new kind of love in this strange, foreign place. It was a time like no other, finding friendship and forging friendly bonds, with handshakes ending in finger snaps, punctuating the coming and going of comrades, witnessing sunsets filling the late day sky from horizon to horizon, color heaped upon color, a giant shifting kaleidoscope, every imaginable color, bidding farewell to the day in a most spectacular way. When my adventure was done, I left there with red dirt sticking to all my innermost places, knowing that I would never use my old eyes to see the world again. Today, my heart is populated by the lessons of that place where wildness holds the upper hand and war has rent the landscape, where people struggle to survive, where my heart learned there are no true boundaries. It was there I finally felt home, an unlikely place where people reached me with their hearts and hopes, gave me a way to be in the world with outstretched hands, ready to welcome strange red roads and impossibly massive sunsets and other landscapes I have yet to explore, but have no need to fear. No one, excuse me, no one ever told me how to grow old. My mother and I never discussed it. The older women in my family were frumpy, had a mean streak, born from lives of forced compliance. Once old, it seems the cronehood sanctioned critical words, cutting judgments. My mother chafed at her sister's aging unkindness. My younger brother wilted beneath it. All of us hated it. So I used COVID to spring into aging, launching myself into a canopy of trees, spilling words into rivers, watching them climb to the clouds, fly to the sea, and knew with clarity there was no turning back. And finally, this poem that I think says who I am now better than anything else. It's called Traveler. Is it wisdom I seek or truth? And if truth, whose? The one learned by my childhood self, forever trapped in boring saddle shoes, or the one imagined by my spirit, dancing through cultures far different from my own? To find the origins of my wild, wandering self, I travel through my lifetime, dive into my wildness, descend to the bottom. Although different, even alien, I always knew myself to be other, outsider. Seeking without ceasing a name truly my own. This one word still eludes me. My true calling from the universe comes slowly on a journey spiraling in from a starry night in a lakeside campground to a kayak paddling with my daughter. But as I travel further, this I know for sure, my compass is true. And I want to thank you again for coming to listen, for supporting my art. This is the beginning of a very exciting adventure for me. Even in pre-order, my book is attracting some interest from book groups and individuals in the writing community. Thank goodness for the internet. I get to have a reach further than before the internet. And I appreciate each of you who has brought me gifts of caring and love and support that have really made a difference. So thank you again. And I invite your comments or your questions or anything really.
How come you're not living by the ocean?
Well, that's a very good question, and one I'm in the process of answering.
I guess it's in you.
Yes, it is in me, and I do hope to reunite with the ocean one day. Not just spiritually, but physically. Definitely on my mind.
Lisa? Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Happy to do it. Happy to have my words out there. It's a really special time. So thank you again, all of you, for coming. I do appreciate it.